Hi, welcome to Set Your Intention podcast with Lory Passov. With 18 years of experience running startup companies, I was at the top of my career when I hit burnout and had to reevaluate what I wanted in my life. And now I talk to successful business leaders who have basically done it all in their career, all while being parents and striving to find balance in their lives. Hello and welcome to Set Your Intention podcast with Lory Passov. And today we have the most incredible guest. Her name is Lihong Hicken. She has climbed the corporate ladder, has been a serial entrepreneur, is running an amazing AI survey company, the first of its kind, and also has 2 children and just has an incredible, amazing person. I'm so excited to talk to you today. If you could start by just, giving a little bit of your background, how you got to where you are now, that would be wonderful.
Totally. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lory. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I thought this is a really well-needed channel for people who are parents to listen to it. I'm Lihong Hicken, co-founder and chief feedback officer at the AI survey interview company called TheySaid. I'm a nerd in AI and feedback space, also among of 2 young children. Originally, I come from China and moved to US through the famous fiancé visa, and then live in US for about 14, 15 years now. And in my short time in US, I've gone through many different startups, and I'm quite fortunate that maybe quite lucky that I have 3 acquisitions and 1 IPO under my belt. So now I'm creating this. I feel like everything I did up to this moment is prepared to build the company they said. So really excited to share the journey with everyone here, and it's gonna be very brutal, honest, with not a lot of padding here.
Love that. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for, right? That vulnerability.
Sure.
Wonderful. So when you started your career, how did you get to where you're going now?
Well, it depends on what your definition is when you start your career. Like I started working when I was in, elementary school.
Oh,
Like
wow.
you had to make your tuition, right? We work in, as a kid, I remember I worked through, I grew up in, just for people who don't know me much, I grew up in a Chinese village where, back then there's not a lot of factory, and our home has a little factory that we manufacturing some goods for internal consumption. But I will work after school, work from 5 p.m. all the way to 11 to 12. And I work every day. We'll get 1 day off a year, and the Chinese New Year. But sometimes my parents will take the privilege away, depending on if it's good year or bad year. So it's a long journey, and we work on different things. My parents were entrepreneurs, so I was his COO working through different startups. So growing up, I really hate startups because I feel like it's so much work, and it's hard, and you had to survive, right? And I think when I was for me, like my first part of life is all about survival of the fittest. Because if you don't perform, you can't eat, you don't have anything to wear, and you can't go to school. So
Wow, 1 day off a year, that's crazy.
it is.
Wow, incredible though. And then from there, do you remember, obviously you moved here, and what kind of set you off on this career path, and how did you get to a point where you felt like, okay, I really made it. I'm not hopefully working every day, but 1 day a year anymore.
Yeah, totally. I guess it's not really like one moment I feel like I make it. There's just several moments. I think graduating college definitely feel like I have escaped the cycle of factory work. So like if I don't graduate from college, what my life would look like would be going to working a Chinese factory, work 16 hours a day, and 1 day of a week. It's not too bad, right? already better than my childhood. But
Yeah.
and then after college, I work in still in China, but work for the world's largest adventure travel company.
Mm,
That feels like another milestone because at that time I was able to expose the Western culture and Western
mm,
environment, Western world. So I know, oh, there's another possibility for my life that I didn't know
yeah.
exist. But then I think for the biggest one that lead my career to the tech space will be one of my previous company called Git Prime. They are a Y company, YC company.
Mm,
And then I joined as one of their first employee that doesn't know how to do coding, like
mhm.
their CRO. But at that time, I grew the business from 0 to 15 million in a little bit under 4 years, and we have
Wow.
just raised Series A. I feel like I knew going to the path. I have a growth plan in the short years to come. I would be able to scale it to 100 million in ARR. And that gave me a real confidence, not just in that company, but in myself. I know I can
Yeah.
recreate that success again. I can do this. So I feel like there's just a lot of moments pile up that you feel like, okay, I think no longer survival mode. Now it's in a
Yeah.
thriving mode.
Love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And that, what did that confidence really do for you?
I think it just give you a sense of freedom.
Yeah.
So you know that you can, whatever you set your heart into, what you're
Mm,
passionate about, you now have the right skill sets, right
mhm.
mindset, and then also the network to do the things you want to achieve. So, maybe you feel like, oh, the world's your oyster.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, that's
Love
kind of
that.
what I feel.
And then how did you get involved in AI?
I think it's very natural I think my career path is always being, like, if you're in business, you are two type of leader. You're a technologist where you build
Mhm,
new product, new technology for the customers. For me, I belong to the second part, it's the customer first leaders, where you
mhm,
listen to customer needs, understand their needs, and then find the right solution that match their organizational needs. So for me, the way I got into the AI is because I listened to customer need. They were like, I needed this feedback that automatically close the loop. I need more personalized engagement with the customer. My customer hate filling out surveys. They want to be
mhm.
more engaging, all that. When you listen to those needs and you realize, oh, AI is a perfect solution for it, that the human AI integration product is the next generation that people are looking for. So we decided to, slowly build MVP. People love it. Build second version, build third version. That eventually, it's kind of rapid, evolving. So then you get into what you are today.
Wow. Amazing. And then from there, when did you decide to have children? How did all that kind of play into it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's children sometimes come, they just come in an inconvenient moment, right? Sometimes they're good at that. It actually took me a while to get kids. I think that my body was in such an intense time of like working a three job at the same time, nighttime, evening
Yeah.
time, and then going to MBA on the weekends. I went to Berkeley for MBA
Oh,
program. So it's like your body is like so intense. Your body knows like, yeah, you're not ready. I think
yeah.
I had my first child when one of the startup got acquired, and then I got
Hmm.
handed a golden handcuff to not
Mm.
move for 2 years. So I had a kid there, which is a perfect time to have a kid. Like, yeah, a 40-hour job feels like a part-time job. To me, I was like, great. Now I can do have a little bit work-life balance, enjoy life, and then kids. So, uh,
Oh, yeah. Wow. You could just see in your face how you light up, how that changed for you.
yeah, totally.
Wonderful. And then with your next, what was that? Did you wait a few more years to have another?
Oh, so no, actually, when my son was 18 months, I got pregnant with the second one. Thought we wouldn't be
Oh, wow.
possible, but the second one was
Mm.
easy. And I thought we were going to be acquired again, another golden handcuff, but this time around it's slightly different. So when my
Mm.
daughter was born, 3 weeks later, I became the CEO of TheySaid. So it
Oh,
was
yes.
intense. It was intense, and there was a lot of stories that might be a little bit too harsh or too funny to hear now looking back. Yeah.
You want to give us one of those?
Well, I remember it was like a 4 week after the C-sections. In Chinese culture, you're supposed to be laying in bed and not doing anything. But I
Yeah.
was out, talking to investors in the coffee shop, doing pitches and stuff like that. Uh, Most of the time, you're kind of half asleep because you had to get up every 2 hours to feed the baby, and then
Right.
you had a full-time job to do, and then you're healing from a major surgery. So that was hard. I think once the hardest time was as part of the fundraising, I had to travel. I remember one time I traveled to Denver. It was a day trip, but I had to nurse the baby very frequently. I remember I had to, in between my pitches, I go to the toilet and dump the breast milk into the
Oh
toilet and
my
then come
gosh.
back. When that fly back the same day, by the time I arrive home, I've already got a fever. So it's my daughter because
Oh
it's
man.
been too
Yeah.
long to pump, right? So those are the moments that's it's hard. It's not hard every day, but you have those
Yeah.
moments where it's hard to balance. Your business is like a baby, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
your real baby and human baby, so they're kind of grabbing attention for their parents' attention. So, uh,
Yeah. Did having kids change anything about your career?
um, I I I think it's a lot of time people talk about, the workplace equality for men and women.
Mm.
Honestly, I personally don't feel that big of a difference between men and women. The
Mm-hmm.
only difference is parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard for
Yeah.
women to kind of uh, be both present, being a mom and being in a very fast growing startup running at high speed. Especially the early days, like first year, you feel like you're burning candles on both ends
Yeah.
because new parents oftentimes deplete from sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have enough sleep, it's hard to make clear decisions, and you have less energy. And then when you're at work, you feel like you don't contribute enough to being the mom. And then when you're as mom,
Yeah.
you worry about the work that's there. So
It's
it's
that
definitely, I
guilt,
think,
right?
yeah, it's just definitely, the first 1 or 2 years is a little bit harder. But now I'm actually getting out of it. So my daughter is 2, my son is 4. So soon I will be in a household
There's
without
still
diapers
little,
with
but
it.
you're
That's
getting
a
there.
little bit, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Oh, good. Has having children made you ever rethink how you do spend your time? I mean, you work a lot, I'm assuming, and you have these little ones at home. How do you balance it all?
Yeah, I think there was a time when I was exhausted from work, like mentally check out. Like you'd have back-to-back meetings all days. By the time you
Yeah.
get home, you kind of like, I don't want to talk anymore. My voice is almost out, right? And then also coming from a Chinese background, Asian people usually don't express love openly.
Mm.
So sometimes you say the kids really prefer playing with dad. They're more playful. So I think
Mm.
having a great spouse kind of remind you. I decided I'll set times to engage with them. Like my 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's all about them
Oh.
playing, reading books, play songs, dancing, going for a walk, swimming, all kind of crazy stuff. And then
Mm.
you'd be surprised the bond with your kids will grow quickly.
Yeah.
And it's also a great mental rest rather than working and thinking about work all the time. It's like between 6 and 9, I'm just turning off from work and being a mom mode.
Oh, that's great. So that's one of your boundaries, your non-negotiables. What are some of your other ones that help you be successful in both, your family life and at work?
Um, I think besides that, I think also keeping a mental and physical uh, health is important. So I try to shoot for like 10,000 footsteps every day. So anytime I have an opportunity to be on the treadmill taking my course, I was doing it. I was supposed to do this one on the treadmill,
Right.
and then the audio thing broke. That's okay.
Yeah.
I overworked yesterday. Yesterday I have 16K, so let's make up
Oh,
for this.
wow. All right.
Yeah.
Give
So
yourself a break then.
so also like make it something like looking forward to, like because in business I'm a metric girl, like it's numbers. So
Mm,
if
yeah.
I give myself a reward if I hit, 10,000 steps, 3 weightlifting a week, some yoga throw in there, play uh, fun days. Usually I spend Saturday and Sunday doing all kind of my activities with my kids. Part
Hmm.
of the thing is I really enjoy that because I didn't quite have a childhood. So
Oh,
my plan was to relive the childhood with my kids. So like
oh, I
yesterday we
love
went to
that.
the amusement car park. It was like I never been to an amusement car when I was a kid, right?
Oh,
So then I can play all the same things. I feel like, ooh, childhood in American
yeah.
kids are really great. Like if there's one thing I would have reborn as a reincarnation as an American kid, yeah, that would be awesome. So yeah, so like, I give myself reward if I can do lows. Business I have metric, life I have
Mhm.
some metric, and to call it if you don't measure your metric, you're never gonna achieve it. So
Yeah.
uh so I set plays differently. And then if I hit that, I give myself a reward. I got a spa day if I hit 4 weeks in a row. I win the full prize to enjoy a spa day by myself.
Oh, that's so nice. You definitely need that, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Well, you mentioned, just kind of being a child and stuff. If you could go back and talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
Um, that's a great, great, great question. I don't think um, I wouldn't like to give advice
Mm,
because I think a lot of times advice, any business advice or life advice will be ignored because young people need to live life and learn those themselves.
mm,
So even if
mhm.
I or whatever, they won't listen. So I know myself,
Yeah.
I probably won't listen. But I think it's more about the options. I look at myself as a younger self. It's not because I don't have the wisdom to do the right thing. It's more because I don't know what is outside of my circle. I don't know what is possible. No
Yeah.
exposure of the outside world. So if I were to give myself like a FAQ time where, you know,
Mhm.
telling telling that like FAQ cheat sheet where it's like possible path, possible way, what's happening in outside of China, what's happening in the world, what is possibility out there. So then I think my younger self will figure out my own way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, look what you have done. Could you have ever imagined this?
Not at all. Because that wasn't in my dictionary. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know this kind of life exists. So,
Right.
even today, I can't explain to my mom about
Mm,
what I've done because we don't have vocabulary for it in my local
mm,
dialect. So, how do you explain something that's not even in your vocabulary, not even in the thing? So, I think it's a lot of times, same thing in the US. It's like a lot of underprivileged people. It's not because they're not hardworking, or it's not because
yeah.
they are not smart, don't have wisdom. It's they don't have exposure. They don't
Yeah.
have information. They don't know what is possible.
Mm. Yeah, that's such an important message, right? It's like they don't have these
Mhm.
opportunities if they don't even know it exists, but look what you eventually
Or
got to.
or even there's no role models. Like imagine people
Mm,
growing up. Like for me, one of the biggest problem is I think I had to growing up. You don't know what is good look like.
yeah.
So what I look around, like growing up, I look at that adult's life, saying I don't want to end up like him. I don't like them and her. I was like, I don't know what I want at that time, but I knew
Yeah.
I do not want this. I do not want that. So it's almost like you're driven for uncertainty. You're searching for what you want. And I
Mm,
wish there were some successful people or elderly around me, and I can see, oh, going, I want to be
mhm,
like that person. No, I didn't find anyone in the village that I admire. So
mm,
I was just searching for what is possible. But because I
mm,
don't know what good look like, what is possibility, so my strategy go into try.
Hmm.
in my early careers, I would try every job for 3 months, and then I was like, that's not what I want. Quit. Try
Hmm.
another one I don't like. Quit. So luckily back then in China, it was a booming time. There was a lot of job opportunities. So I can try different. All of them don't pay well, but it's okay. So at least I can get to try. But then later
Yeah.
on, I did try something that I'm passionate about. I love uh, learning and stuff. So then I can build a career on that. Before that, I have no idea. Then I
Yeah.
also didn't know that I would be career. I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. Who knows? And then
Yeah.
I realized later on, stay-at-home mom is way harder job than being a CEO.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
totally.
how do you have a good support system here, nannies help to kind of get you to be able to do what you do every day?
Yeah, totally. We have au pair.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then kids are going to daycare full time. So they basically have a similar work style as we do. When we are working, they are out. But then the thing is, you cannot these help cannot replace you as a parent. So when I
No.
get off work,
Yeah.
those help also get off work. So
Yeah.
I guess over time you're getting used to like you're working full time.
Yeah.
Especially you're on the whole time, but I'm familiar with it. Remember, I grew up in China.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, I can't even fathom that. So,
Yeah.
have you ever had an experience where you feel like you've hit any sort of burnout or times where you just like feel like you just can't go on?
I mean, I wouldn't, I don't want to kind of color code is, yeah, definitely there will be some burned outs.
Yeah.
I think it's a consistent shift, like every few months, you feel like, oh, you're getting tired, you're
Hmm.
burned out. I'm not too worried about me burning out. I have a good system to monitor it because
Yeah.
burnout is a familiar friend now, and you if you're prepared for it, you kind of know like,
Yeah.
okay, this is happening. Now, it's usually a signal like where you need to scale yourself, either hire more
Hmm.
people or you need to
Yeah.
automate yourself with AI and stuff. So it's also a growing learning opportunities. Like, okay, you have done so good for this existing system to get to where you are. Now you need to upgrade, and otherwise you'll be experiencing burnout. My opinion about burnout is like it's probably happening very common among parents
Yeah.
with demanding jobs. So at this point, burnout is like a frequent plan that visit every couple of months. But it's not about. I think the important thing is if you are prepared to handle it. It's like, okay, do you set an indication on how you detect burnout? What is the possible impact of the burnout? For
Hmm.
me, I really don't want to impact too much of how I present around employees and people because
Hmm.
sometimes when you have a bad day, you might bring the negativity to them, and that's not right. They shouldn't be
Yeah.
getting the pressure from you. It's not none of their business.
Hmm.
So that's something I want to watch out and make sure that okay, I contain my burnout just to me, and then find
Yeah.
way channel to de-stress, to release, and up to another round of a burnout, another round of de-stress. So
Yeah.
you go through cycles of this maybe once a quarter. So
Okay. Yeah. And because when you are that role model and you are leading a team and stuff, you have, a certain way of how you want to present yourself and how you want to be open for them and make sure that they're supported. And, but then in the same side, on the flip side, how do you support yourself? What were some of those signs you said that you saw maybe you're leading that way?
yeah, my body is really good at indicating it. Usually, the first sign of burnout is usually my voice will crack. Because I spend
Mm-hmm.
so much time communicating with the customers, employees, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
when the voice is gone, you can't do much.
Yeah.
Sorry, you kind of have to lay back and stress. And then usually I basically make sure that I sleep 8 hours a day, guaranteed. And then I usually now I have weekends. Like if you
Yeah.
think about childcare not as work, it's like just relive your childhood and go out to the
Oh,
playground. And then it's like you might as well make it your time weekends as well, right? So
yeah.
that
That's such
becomes
a
it
good way to
becomes
think about it. Such a good
yeah,
mindset.
exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like, well, what do you do? I mean, hanging out with my kids in the amusement park this weekend. Next week we go
Oh,
to this, that. So yeah, I'm doing all kind of activity with them to relive the childhood and re-energize myself. So it's
oh,
fun.
you totally deserve that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what does success look like for you today as a parent and in the role you're doing?
um yeah, I think for me, I think before I haven't spent too much time like, uh, carefully building relationship and enjoying life. So
Mm,
for now, I think there's secretly people have this mindset like you work really hard, you get somewhere, you achieve, and then when you retire, you go travel the world and whatever.
yeah,
I think, my husband and I, we have this belief like you gotta live your life as if you're gonna live it every day, right?
yeah,
So why not enjoy life, like work hard, play hard, but at the same time
yeah.
not trying to wait until that moment. So I actually play very hard on the weekends. And then we do take vacations. And every time when I go for a business trip, I try to make it like a personal trip here. Like went to Florida for a conference, like bring the kids tag along
Oh,
for a Disney
awesome.
trip afterwards. Like
Yeah.
it's like so it's really good. And every time I go to a networking event, one of the kids performing one, the not fussy one will come with me and we eat all the food and meet all the cool people. So it kind of I think you kind of have to weave your work life into one
Mm.
so that you can actually enjoy them both. Otherwise, it's gonna be too difficult to enjoy life.
Wow, that is a wonderful message, just bringing every little moment of joy you can into your daily life.
Exactly. Right? You gotta find fun of it. Like if you are stressed out, unhappy, that you spend a day. If you are enjoying the challenge, being goofy, having fun, you also spend another day. Might as well spend your day happy and being positive, right?
Yeah. And how do you show up as a leader for your team and kind of spread that message?
Um, so because the way I learned a lot, I love learning very much, and
Yeah.
my way of learning is constantly doing all kind of A/B testing, and try it and fail, try it and fail, try it and fail. So one of the things I have with my company is like I really value learning, employee learning, and share the learning with the company. So the I want to make sure that employees feel like they have a safe space to move fast
Mm,
and make mistakes. Like if they make
mhm.
mistake, that is okay. What do you learn today?
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, you are stupid, you make this mistake.
Yeah.
No, everybody
Right.
make that mistake, And then I will share like, yeah, you're not the only one. I made that mistake too when I was this time. It was hilarious. And then, but
Yeah.
the end result was this. So it's like oftentimes people ask me, "Oh, what's the biggest failure you have?" I say, "You have a lot. Your biggest failure maybe you're not making enough failure." So it's sure you fail and you learn. As long as you learn, it's not a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything is a lesson, right?
right.
Well, thank you so
Mm.
much for all of this information and learning about you today. It has been such a wonderful conversation, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Laurie, for
Thank
the
you.
interview. It's really good chat.
Thanks.